Hello everyone, and welcome to my Young and the Restless official 24 channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Big shock. Claire discovers Kyle's plot to kill Audra to cover up secret. The Young and the Restless takes a dark, riveting turn as Claire Grace Newman uncovers a horrifying truth that could destroy lives, alliances, and the fragile threads of trust she's worked so hard to rebuild. The stage is set when Claire begins noticing subtle, yet deeply disturbing shifts in Kyle Abbott's demeanor. Changes too precise, too cold to ignore. What began as minor deflections and suspicious absences spirals into something far more chilling. At first, Claire brushes off Kyle's late-night disappearances and cryptic excuses. But when she stumbles upon a hidden burner phone tucked inside the lining of his suitcase filled with messages between Kyle and a mysterious contact, her heart races with fear. One message, in particular, stops her dead in her tracks. Audra can't talk. She knows too much. This ends tonight. That moment becomes Claire's awakening. Her fiancé, the man she trusted and loved, is plotting to kill Audra Charles to cover up a dangerous secret. Claire doesn't know exactly what Audra knows, but she understands that whatever it is, Kyle is willing to go to deadly lengths to keep it buried. Claire's mind races, filled with questions. What could Audra possibly know that would drive Kyle to murder? What has he done? Is this about Victor Newman? Or perhaps a business scheme gone wrong? Or something much worse? She knows Kyle has been drifting from her emotionally, blaming stress, family drama, and business turmoil. But now it's clear Kyle is hiding something big. Claire traces the number from the burner phone to a known mercenary for hire with ties to international corporate espionage, a name Victor once warned her about in passing. Anton Krell. The messages between Kyle and Anton outline a chilling plan: get Audra alone, take her out quietly, make it look like an accident, and wipe all digital traces. The target time? Tomorrow night. The location? The Grand Phoenix rooftop. Desperate and stunned, Claire wrestles with the gravity of what she's uncovered. She doesn't know whether to confront Kyle or rush to Audra and warn her. But before she can make a decision, fate pushes her hand. That evening, she finds Kyle poring over a floor plan of the Grand Phoenix, marking entry points, exit routes, and blind spots in the surveillance system. When she questions him, Kyle's response is practiced and calm. He claims he's helping Victor with a security audit for an upcoming board event. Claire pretends to believe him, but her heart pounds with panic. She slips away to call Audra, but the woman doesn't answer. With the clock ticking, Claire decides to act on her own. She digs deeper, recalling a heated exchange between Kyle and Audra just days prior at Society. Audra had accused Kyle of being Victor's pawn again and hinted at knowing something explosive that could burn everything down. Claire realizes that the secret Audra holds must tie back to Kyle's sudden return to Victor's orbit, perhaps something Victor ordered Kyle to do, or worse, something Kyle did behind Victor's back. But Claire doesn't think Victor is involved in the murder plot. No, this feels personal. This is about survival. Kyle's desperate bid to keep his past sins from catching up to him. Claire heads to Chancellor Park where she remembers Audra mentioning she'd be taking a late walk. To her shock, she finds Audra on a bench, headphones in, completely unaware of the looming threat. Claire drags her into a coffee shop and spills everything. At first, Audra doesn't believe her, assuming Claire is playing mind games. But when Claire shows her the messages, Audra goes pale. He wouldn't. Audra stammers. But in her heart, she knows Kyle has changed. His desperation, his erratic behavior, and his sudden power plays all point to a man spiraling. Audra confesses that she's been holding on to a major secret, that Kyle was involved in a covert deal with an anonymous investor who illegally laundered money through Jabot during Kyle's stint as acting CEO. The investor? None other than Carter Winchester, Kane Ashby's corrupt cousin who was presumed dead but clearly isn't. Kyle helped Carter, under Victor's silent observation, to bury the scandal to protect the company. But when Carter tried to return to Genoa City, threatening to expose Kyle unless he handed over more control of Jabot, Kyle snapped. Audra found out and kept the proof, thinking she could use it as leverage if Kyle or Victor ever came for her. Now she realizes that Kyle doesn't see leverage. He sees a threat. And Kyle's ready to eliminate that threat. Claire, furious and heartbroken, hatches a plan. She insists Audra move into her apartment temporarily while she figures out her next steps. Claire then goes back to Kyle and pretends everything is fine. She tells him she's going to visit Nikki for a girls' night, kisses him goodbye, and leaves. But instead of going to the Newman ranch, she sneaks into Kyle's loft while he's away and downloads data from his personal laptop. The encrypted folder she finds is labeled Project Silencer. It contains schematics, payment records to Anton, and a chilling video message Kyle recorded, just in case he didn't make it out alive. In the video, Kyle admits to orchestrating Carter's disappearance months ago and explains that Audra's connection to Carter made her dangerous. He claims that what he's done was for his son Harrison, to ensure a future free from scandal and ruin. Claire watches in disbelief, tears streaming down her face, realizing Kyle has crossed lines that cannot be uncrossed. Meanwhile, Kyle receives a message from Anton. Audra never showed. Something's wrong. Do I proceed with Plan B? Kyle, panicked, responds, no. Stand down. I'll handle it. He begins to suspect Claire might know something. That night, he follows her to Crimson Lights, where she's pretending to meet Summer for coffee. When he sees her texting someone with the burner phone, his blood runs cold. He waits until she steps away and snatches her purse, finding the phone and reading her exchange with Audra. His worst fears are confirmed. Claire knows everything. The next morning, Claire confronts Kyle in their apartment. She lays everything on the table: his plot, the messages, the money trail, the video, and the truth about Carter. Kyle breaks. He doesn't deny it. Instead, he falls to his knees and begs for forgiveness, claiming he was manipulated by Victor, by Carter, by the pressure to be the perfect Abbott's son. He says he never meant to hurt Claire, that he was going to back out of the plan, but everything spiraled too fast. Claire, disgusted and sobbing, tells him it's too late. You were willing to kill someone to protect a secret. That's not love, Kyle. That's evil. She leaves him, devastated but resolved, and heads straight to Victor with everything: video, texts, payment trails. She demands he deal with Kyle before she goes to the authorities. Victor, furious that Kyle would go rogue under his nose, promises to clean it up in his own way. Whether that means protecting Kyle or destroying him remains to be seen. Meanwhile, Audra vanishes. Her suite at the Grand Phoenix is cleared out, her phone disconnected, her car abandoned near the Newman Tower. Rumors swirl. Some say Victor helped her disappear to protect her. Others think Kyle finally succeeded in silencing her. Claire isn't sure what to believe anymore, but she knows one thing for certain: Kyle Abbott is no longer the man she fell for. And whatever happens next in Genoa City, nothing will ever be the same. Jack Abbott arrives home from a business trip and finds his son spiraling. Kyle confesses to Jack that he lost himself trying to do what he thought was right. Jack is horrified by what Claire has revealed, but he urges his son to turn himself in, to make things right. Kyle refuses. Instead, he packs a bag and disappears, leaving behind a letter for Harrison, saying he'll always love him, but he needs to go away to become someone his son can be proud of. As the dust settles, Claire is left to pick up the pieces. Victor, true to his word, uses his power to scrub evidence and control the fallout, but warns Claire not to cross him again. She tells him that the only reason she came to him was because she believed Audra didn't deserve to die for a corporate cover-up, no matter how ruthless she had been in the past. You clean up Kyle's mess, she tells him, but don't think for 1 second I'll forget what you allowed to happen in the shadows of your empire. In the shadows of Genoa City, another storm brews. Carter Winchester is still alive. And now, with Kyle exposed and Audra missing, Carter's about to make his next move. The secret Kyle tried to kill for may not stay buried for long, and Claire, hardened by betrayal, is ready to burn it all down if she has to. The young and the restless landscape continues to tremble as Claire Grace Newman reels from Kyle Abbott's treachery. The fallout from uncovering his plan to kill Audra Charles still lingers in every breath she takes. Though Kyle disappeared after she exposed his crimes, the ghost of what he nearly did continues to haunt Genoa City's elite, especially now that Claire has received a new message. An encrypted email, sent from an anonymous address, bearing just one line. You think Kyle was your biggest problem? Carter's not finished. Attached is a photo, grainy but unmistakable. Carter Winchester, very much alive, standing outside a dive bar in Toronto. Claire stares at it in disbelief. Kyle's darkest secret didn't die with his disappearance. In fact, It's about to get a second life. Carter's return reopens wounds Claire was just beginning to scab over. She takes the photo to Victor Newman, who is already aware. I have eyes everywhere, Claire, he tells her flatly, pouring himself a scotch. If Carter wants to make noise, we'll silence him. But we can't afford another scandal right now, not with Newman Media merging with Chancellor Winters. Claire's fury bubbles to the surface. This isn't just about media shares or profit margins. Kyle tried to kill Audra. Carter manipulated him into laundering dirty money through Jabot. And now you want to, what? Sweep it under another rug. Victor narrows his eyes, clearly displeased with her tone. You came to me once before when Kyle broke your heart. You asked for my help. I handled it. If Carter is back, I'll handle him too. But don't confuse your personal pain with corporate strategy. Claire storms out, increasingly disillusioned with her grandfather's moral compass or lack thereof. She decides she won't be Victor's pawn, not again. She meets secretly with Billy Abbott, who has returned from a business trip and immediately senses the tension humming beneath the surface. Claire tells him everything from the burner phone and the kill plot to Carter's return and Victor's plans to neutralize the situation. Billy is stunned, especially since Kyle is his nephew. We always knew Kyle had an edge, Billy admits grimly. But this? This is war. Billy proposes they go public with what they know. Let the Newmans and the Abbotts clean their own mess in front of the world for once, he suggests. But Claire knows the collateral damage would be too severe, especially with Harrison caught in the crossfire. Meanwhile, Carter Winchester begins making his moves in the shadows. He checks into a room under a false name at the Grand Phoenix, using a false ID. His first stop is a visit to an old associate, Tucker McCall. The two share a history, off-the-record deals, insider trading, and mutual blackmail. Carter offers Tucker something dangerous, proof that Victor manipulated stock values using Kyle and Jabot. With this, Carter says, placing a flash drive on Tucker's table, you'll have Newman's balls in your hand. Tucker's eyes gleam with intrigue, but he warns Carter not to overplay his hand. You're back from the dead. That makes you powerful or stupid. Let's see which it is. Back in Genoa City, Audra finally resurfaces alive, defiant, and ready for war. She contacts Claire and asks for a meeting at the park. Under the cover of night, Audra explains how she disappeared. Victor orchestrated a fake kidnapping to protect her while he cleaned up Kyle's mess. But I never stopped watching, Audra admits. And now Carter's back? Kyle's not the only one with blood on his hands. She reveals that Carter blackmailed her, too, back in the early days of her career when she worked in London. He knows things about all of us, Victor, Tucker, even me. And if he's back, he's not here for revenge. He's here for leverage. Claire and Audra strike an uneasy alliance, bound together by mutual betrayal. They decide to dig into Carter's recent financial activity, hoping to predict his next move. What they find stuns them. Carter has been laundering money through shell corporations that now own significant shares in Newman Chancellor's upcoming expansion. He's wormed his way back into their world financially, preparing to strike not with bullets but boardroom blackmail. And worse, he has video evidence of a meeting between Kyle and himself discussing the original scheme, enough to take down the entire Jabot board. As this truth unfolds, Kyle re-emerges. Wearing a hoodie, unshaven and broken, he appears at Jack's door in the dead of night. Jack, though enraged and heartbroken, lets him in. Kyle falls apart, confessing that running didn't help. He's been living in squalor, consumed by guilt, unable to sleep or face Harrison. I see her face in my dreams, Dad. Claire, and what I almost did to Audra. I'm not that man. Or maybe I am. Jack wants to believe his son can be redeemed but warns him. You've got one chance to fix this. Own it. Fully. Claire learns of Kyle's return and confronts him at the Abbott mansion. He begs her to hear him out, insisting that Carter manipulated everything, that he was trying to protect Jabot and Harrison's legacy. Claire doesn't waver. You chose murder over truth, Kyle. That's not love. That's cowardice. But Claire doesn't report him. Not yet. She tells him that if he wants any chance at redemption, he'll help her take down Carter for good. Claire, Kyle, Audra, and Billy form a fragile task force with one goal: expose Carter and make him pay without destroying the lives of everyone connected. They begin tracing Carter's next targets, starting with Tucker. Billy confronts Tucker at Society, warning him that aligning with Carter is a losing game. He's not loyal, Tucker. His venom wrapped in cash, Billy says. Tucker brushes him off with a sly smile, but privately begins deleting messages from Carter. He's not willing to go down with that ship. Carter senses the walls closing in and decides to go big. He schedules a press conference at a private estate, posing as a whistleblower investor. "I'll bring them all down," he tells the media invitees. The Newmans, the Abbotts, Tucker McCall, Audra Charles. Corruption's not just a buzzword, it's the lifeblood of Genoa City. But before the press conference can begin, Victor makes his move. With help from Nate Hastings and Devon Hamilton, Victor arranges a legal trap. He leaks a fake tip that Carter is holding sensitive Newman investor data stolen through cybercrime. When Carter arrives at the estate, he's greeted not by reporters, but by federal agents. They arrest him on charges of racketeering, fraud, and interstate money laundering. Carter, ever the showman, smirks as he's led away in cuffs. "This isn't over," he growls at Victor, who watches coldly from his limo. "It never is," Victor replies, and the car drives off. The fallout is swift. The press is told that Carter was a lone fraudster attempting to manipulate investors using forged data. The Jabot board remains intact barely. Victor's hands appear clean. But inside Newman Tower, Claire knows better. Kyle is left with nothing but ashes of his old life, his job, his reputation, and his love, all reduced to ruins. He agrees to enroll in therapy and dedicate himself to being a better father to Harrison, though he understands Claire may never forgive him. Claire returns to her suite at the Grand Phoenix, exhausted, battered, but no longer afraid. She receives one final package. No return address. Inside, a flash drive. She plugs it in. One file, Claire_Newman_truth.mp4. It's Carter's voice. "You think it's over, Claire? It's just beginning. You're a Newman. You think you're any better than the rest? You've got secrets too. You're just too new to know them yet. But they are coming for you, girl. Sooner than you think." She closes the laptop, hands shaking. She picks up her phone, dials a number. "Granddad, we need to talk. Now." Claire Newman sat in her penthouse suite with the weight of the flash drive like a stone in her hand. Carter's taunting message still echoed in her mind. "You've got secrets too. You're just too new to know them yet." It wasn't just a threat. It was a breadcrumb, an invitation to dig deeper into the very family she'd only recently begun to trust. And now, after everything with Kyle, Carter, and Audra, Claire was done being a pawn on someone else's chessboard. She was ready to become a queen, dangerous, calculating, and impossible to manipulate. But to do that, she needed answers. Real answers. Starting with Victor. The Newman patriarch met Claire at the ranch, cool and composed. But Claire walked in with fire in her eyes. She didn't bother with pleasantries. "Carter's gone. But he left a message. For me. And he said I don't know the truth about myself." Victor's jaw tightened, the only tell in his otherwise stoic face. "Carter was a liar, Claire. You know that." She slammed the flash drive onto the coffee table. "No, Granddad. Carter was a lot of things, but this wasn't a lie. You're going to tell me what he meant, or I swear I'll find out myself, and when I do, I won't protect you." Victor rose, slowly, a storm behind his eyes. "Be very careful, young lady. You think you're ready for answers, but you're still playing a game you barely understand." Claire didn't flinch. "Maybe, but I'm done being handled. So start talking." With a deep breath, Victor relented. He poured himself a scotch, then one for her. For a long time, he said nothing. Then finally, "When you were born, the world was different. Your mother, Eve, kept certain truths from you. She thought it was safer that way. And maybe she was right. But the man you believed was your father? He wasn't." Claire blinked. "What are you saying?" "Your biological father," Victor said slowly, "wasn't a soldier or an investor. He was one of my enemies. A man who tried to destroy Newman Enterprises more than once. A man I buried figuratively years ago." Claire's stomach turned. "Who?" Victor's eyes met hers. "Julius Kingsley." The name hit her like a bolt of lightning. She'd read it in old press clippings. Julius Kingsley, an economic terrorist who attempted a corporate coup against Newman Enterprises over 2 decades ago, before disappearing under mysterious circumstances. He disappeared, Claire whispered. They said he died in a plane crash. Victor nodded. That's what the world thinks. The truth is, I paid him off to vanish. He was a danger to the business, to the family, and to your mother. She begged me not to kill him. I agreed on one condition. He'd never contact you. Never come near you. Claire stood, pacing, her mind reeling. And what? Carter found out. That's why he sent the message. Victor gave a grave nod. Carter was working with Kingsley before his disappearance. They ran an offshore laundering operation, shell companies, fake mergers, high-stakes financial theft. Carter knew you were Kingsley's daughter before you even set foot in Genoa City. He kept it in his back pocket. Insurance.